All right, so Oloram Baljate Vater Narvode. Welcome back to our podcast. Apologies for being gone for so long, real life situations and all that. But now that we're back, we're going to start doing some language sessions and real life topics again. We are joined by Zen. Say your name again. I can't see it because of my phone screen. I'm sorry.
Zelnamore is how it's
Zel.
supposed to be pronounced.
Hello.
Zelnamore, sorry, it's darn push to
Okay.
talk.
Yeah, I'll see if I can't get you promoted inside the server so you don't have to worry about that. You just gotta talk to an Alore for that.
Much appreciated, Vod.
Yeah, no problem. All right, so starting with a little bit of language, I'm gonna go back into our pinned messages for a little bit. And this one's actually pretty not circumstantial right now, but now that we're getting into the warmer days, we gotta be careful about heat injuries. And back in August of last year, I was close to a heat injury myself, so this one's predominantly needed. So we've got Careful Brothers, heat injury is no good. Ulish vode, nadal shopor, koir nesh jate. Ulish vode, nadal shopor, koir nesh jate. Which literally translates to Careful Brothers, heat injury is no good. Uh, some fun sayings that we've came up with also is we have a translation for that's what she said. Meg, Kaish, Joyish. I'm sorry, I fucked that up. Meg, Kejo, Heish. What have I done? Meg, Ganar, Ashnarni. Uh, Aruhutun is no longer allowed fire. Aruhutun, Dardumir, Teshin. Always the fun saying, fuck around and find out. Shabrud Bal Meir Dain. Uh, play stupid games and win stupid prizes. Guaranteed. Yeah,
That
this
one's
one's going to
very
take a second.
appropriate nowadays.
Yes, it really is. This one I'm going to have to work through again because I'm really bad and haven't been working on my Mondoa very much. Yer venir ye roy adi kutla Parjir de Kutla Gamewad. So again, play stupid games and win stupid prizes. Gier venir Geroya de Kutla Bal Pajir de Kutla Gamewad.
Sorry to interrupt. Where in the
Yeah, what's up?
which pinned message is this exactly?
This is in the Mandor Mondoa pinned messages in the language channel.
Yeah, what's the date of the that pinned message specifically, if I may ask?
Uh, Specifically, I pinned this on or messaged it on August 28th. Which I think was probably several because I've got one that was at 7:38. The one I've been reading off of is from 7:41. Always another fun saying regarding to the Geneva Conventions. A lot of people are saying Geneva suggestions and even a Geneva checklist. It's only a war crime the first. It's only a war crime after the first time. So it's Beak
And that's
Kuyer.
if there's anything left.
That is correct. So Beak Kuyer Shea Akan Chak Te Solish Kanara.
Speaking of nothing left,
What you got?
the fucked up beyond all
Oh
understanding
yeah,
and recognition.
football.
Shab, Sha'a la lam sum an so var.
Shabla la and suvar.
Yeah, I'm still working on mine. Pardon me
Yep,
for also having a bit of a rough sore throat today.
all good. So again, to say fucked up beyond all understanding slash recognition, or the acronym FUBAR. Shabla la su'um an suvar. Let's see, what else we got? Fuck around and find out. I think I did that one already. Shab,
Hmm.
Rud, Bal, May. Yeah.
Yeah, you did that one.
Shab, Rud, Nal, My, Ear, Dane. Yeah, I did. I remember that now. Oh well, never hurts to say it again. So let's see, we got some generic questions and statements. Scrolling up this time, not scrolling down, but going up to a newer post from September 4th. I posted this one. Uh, so if you want to say it's over there, Beak Jeon or Gear, or where can I find Vai Le Sai Ne My Air, or you want to say are they here? Koir Val Olar. Have you seen Ganar Gar Roy Ru Har Tyler? Ganar Gar Ru Har Tyler is have you seen? Also, if you're asking what should I be planting, like if you want to do some kind of horticulture or the vet team, is Meg Rukir Ni Koir Tug Vorpan. And I do realize accents will kind of screw up how these are said as well, so we're going to get our regional dialects getting different pronunciations. That's completely fine. We're not too worried about that just yet. I mean, I know it's something that needs to get addressed, but we'll try to figure that out as we go. Oh, there goes my phone charger. Oh well, fuck it.
If anything, that can help with somewhat identifying, oh, so you're from roughly this area or you're from this area. Just like
Yeah,
in other cultures, yeah, they speak the same language, but accents and dialects tend to be different depending on where you grew up.
yeah. So me personally, I'm in the southeast, specifically the Tennessee Mississippi area. So you're gonna get an accent based off of how I talk out here.
Same for me being Texas.
All right, so now I'm gonna scroll up and do some essential words that we've got from around Thanksgiving last year, 11/27. So for those who are interested in learning the language, here are some important baby steps on learning questions. So we've got tion, which is the interrogative used for a question. We've got tion ad, asking who. Vai, which is where, as in location. The general where is tion vai. Or we've got when, based on like time. Tion tour. We've got asking why. Tion jor. And we've got how many. Tion soleil. In that same lesson, we had son or daughter, which is odd. We've got day, which is tour. Or if you want to say good day, it's jate tour. I think it was a var tour as well. I'm having a hard time translating the var again. I'll get on that later. If you want to say count, soletar, which goes into the how many of soleil, it just loses the AR at the end. Some essential words. If you want to say yes, it's elek, no, nesh, to be or to exist, year. Ball is and. So if you remember at the beginning, I said jate vartur, oloram bal jate vartur. The ball is and. Uh, jate vartur, good morning. That's right. Var at the beginning of Tor puts morning as the identifier of what time of day. That's right. Let's see if we want to say this is Ibik, as in Ibik Runi, this is the way. Runi being the way. So we've got that as Ibak instead of Ibik, Ibak. If you want to say but as in but let's try this, it's just the letter A pronounced ah. If you want to say for, like you're saying this is for this, it's par, P-A-R. If you want to say with, as in you're going with me, T. Meg, M-E-G, sorry, is pronounced M-A-Y-G, which covers which, what. Oh man. All right, so Meg covers which, what, who, and that. Megin is which, what, who, that, before a vowel. So if you're using it after the vowel, you'll use the regular MEG, but if you're using it before a vowel, you'll do Megin. It's basically the same stuff, just where you put it. So then you've got pronouns, which is going to be like I, me, mine, you, yours, that kind of stuff. So if you want to say I or me, it's ni. My or mine, it's ner. So I actually didn't know this one until I started doing this particular lesson. I've always pronounced it Nerdvod. It's actually spelled N-E-R, but it's pronounced like the Nair hair gel or the hair remover. Can anybody else hear me? It's gotten kind of quiet.
Yeah, I could hear you.
Okay.
Yeah, you're coming through.
Just want to make sure no one else was talking.
Nope.
I gotcha. I'm just, like I said, I'm out and about.
Alrighty then. Alright, so for you or yours, it's Gar. Spelled G-A-R, pronounced G-A-H-R. So we've got he, him, his, she, her, and hers, which is Keish. We've got Vol, which is they, their, and theirs. We've got we or us, which is me. Like we would say, me vote on. Me, we brothers all. We've got Kun, which is our or ours. For example, like you've got the Kun Joha, our language. That's where we get that from. And then we've got some basic adjectives. We've got Jate, which is good. Brik Kesha. Brik Kese is happy. Douche is bad. Not
how appropriate for that one.
Right? I was thinking that. I was like, douche, bad. Yes, it is.
I was about to ask, just to clarify that I heard that correctly.
Yeah, it was spelled D-U-S-H, pronounced D-O-O-S-H. Yes, douche.
Yes, you are saying douche. Which is bad. So we've got Tri Carla, which is sad. We've got Evin Ish, which is fast. Evin Ish. We got Harish, which is tired. We've got Nula, which is funny. Sharal, lazy, which is me this morning because I don't want to get out of bed because of my stomach.
I wouldn't say that's lazy. I wouldn't say that that's shout out. Shout out.
Ah, right. So we've got Meshla, which is beautiful. I actually had a saying, if you remember the TV show, My Gym Partner's a Monkey.
I remember that one.
They've got the saying, shiny, shiny, pretty, pretty.
Yeah, I remember that episode, yes. That just aged me.
It aged me too. But I actually translated that. And it was Meshla, and I can't remember what the other one was. but I know we'll find it eventually in one of these sessions. So then we've got Gotish, which is strong. We've got Kadane, which is angry. And we've got Janade, which is spicy, as in the food type of spicy. Actually, I kind of want to see if I can find that. Let's see, that's the marriage vow. We're not going to go over that just yet.
Yeah, one thing I've noticed in regards to our language is that it's very neutral as far as a more or less gender ways, because a lot of other languages have a quote unquote gender
That
feel
is
to
100%
them.
correct. The only thing we've got gender on is machinery. Don't ask me why. I don't remember the reason, but when it comes to actual gender, we're actually pretty gender tolerant, gender neutral way of life. We don't give a shit what you've got in your pants or don't have in your pants.
Vod is Vod.
Very gender neutral and very.
We're all equal under the helm.
And I just want to say as well, based off some of the research that I've done, the few times that gender is discussed, it's out of necessity, i.e. if we're talking about a vode, where we're looking for a particular vode or vode,
Yeah.
and we want to use an adjective to help describe their features, the gender isn't even really gendered. It's more describing their features, if that makes sense. Or body armor, let's say.
Yeah.
There's some types of body armor out there that are more favorable to women or people with feminine features. So 9 times out of 10, if it's gendered in our language, it's out of necessity rather than choice.
Yeah, like talking about like medical situations.
Yeah, pretty much. And so far, I'm gonna have to look back in the messages when I get back to my PC eventually, but I'm not seeing that translation anywhere.
Which translation are you referring to? Of
The
machinery?
shiny, shiny, pretty.
Oh. I just remembered I need to get the scripts and translations we do have currently on my computer.
So it goes back into I translated the Valhalla Rising into Mondoa, and I just ran across that translation.
Oh, that's such a good song.
I don't know. Have you heard the one where they've got the that bass guy doing the trio version?
Which one?
Where you've got Miracle of Sound, Peyton Parrish, and that bass guy.
Oh yeah, I've heard that one.
Ooh, that one hits different. I'm sorry, that one's I love that one. Yeah, I can't seem to find that translation, so we're gonna go on to the latest language lesson that Shannon posted for us yesterday.
If you don't mind, I do have a question based off one of the words that you spoke
what you
about
got?
earlier. So I know that in the English language, we like to give additional meaning to certain words. For example, if you want to mess around with the police, they might break out the spicy air. Is there anything close to that in the Mando language? Because my understanding is it's a very literal language. Would you say there's anything comparable, or is it just very literal?
I kind of like spicy air. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, spicy air, as far as how literal Mendoa is, would be very comparable to tear gas and whatnot.
Let me pull up. Let's see if I can do it. My Mandoa PDF or something that I've got on my computer screen on my phone.
Yeah, and I apologize if it seems like I kind of jumped in there. It's something that came to mind that I'm sure other people might be curious about is, I know if you ask, I forget exactly how to say, what is new with you? If there's nothing new with you, you literally say nas, which means nothing or zero.
Naish.
Nish, I apologize.
Yeah, I could be wrong myself, but Naish pretty much means no or nothing. And I can't seem to find the PDF, so let's see how I can do rolling out of it. Back up.
So here's a question for you guys. Do you think the Heart of Mandalore is required to be on an armor piece?
Define what you mean by Art of Mandalore.
Heart of Mandalore.
Okay, the Karta Beskar, the Heart of Iron. Yes, that would definitely be something we would want to have because it identifies you as Mandalorian or as a friend of Mandalore. There's a reason we've designed our VOD tags after the Heart of Iron.
Though at the same time, I would have to say that that's a cultural aspect situation. Because in the way, it does not specify one must wear such things.
I'll have to get back with you guys on that. I will ask the Boloroi group, but I'm pretty sure they're going to come back with, yeah, we're going to want to wear those as an identifier of us.
Just as a quick little side piece, I do distinctly remember a conversation I had with one of our Lori about I think it's tenet number 9 or 10, which is basically be proud of the fact that you're Mandalorian, where it emphasizes the basically identifying yourself as a Mandoade or Mandoad.
Yeah, and that Heart of Iron is literally how we do that.
I'm trying to find the tenets. No, the tenets. Here we go. Let's see. Tenet 10. A Mandalorian must remain loyal to the Way and their brothers and sisters of the Way. I'm trying to see where you were mentioning about the pride of Mandalorian. A Mandalorian must train their body and mind in a disciplined manner. This is not limited to the ways of combat readiness, physical fitness, firearms and weapons knowledge. It's
tenet number 11.
An honor ambassador of the ambassador of the Way. Mandalorian must be open and public about the Way. They must be ready to explain the beliefs they hold. A Mandalorian must never deny their faith and should seek to spread the Way whenever possible. Honest questions must be met with honest answers, yet those who express no interest in the Way must have their rights treated with respect. A Mandalorian should refrain from actively pushing conversation when confronted with disinterest or hostility against the Way. In such a case, a Mandalorian must remain respectful. It is better to be a living example of the Way in hopes of future opportunities. A Mandalorian values individual freedom, including the freedom to pursue one's own religious beliefs. That is tenet number 11's description. Mandalorian must remain loyal to the tenet 10. The significance, the Mandalorian loyalty to the Way and our brothers and sisters under the helm. More specifically, it represents the idea that commitment to the religion of the Way is not something to be taken lightly. Being a Mandalorian cannot be a holidays-only faith. It does not mean blind devotion without thought, but rather a religion that must be treated as seriously as a part of one's identity. Likewise, loyalty to our brothers and sisters under the helm does not mean to condone every action by a fellow Mandalorian. Rather, it means that a Mandalorian should remain watchful of their fellows and help them to remain true to the Way and be willing to speak out against those who stray. None are above question. Additionally, this means a Mandalorian should be willing to help guide others in the way and aid them to the best of their ability in weapons, reliance, unarmed self defense, and other matters crucial to keepers of the way.
Also, the question: are we required to wear the heart of iron on a piece of clothing or armor? And I'm getting replies back from the Facebook group that I'm in.
Is that the Keepers of the Way Facebook group?
That is correct. Alright, so the short answer is no, we're not required to wear the heart of iron. However, the sigil of the way should be displayed if possible.
To which I ask, what, for those who do not know, what is the sigil of the way?
The sigil of the way is if you're looking at, let's see. Actually, if you're looking at the Discord's, if you're looking at the server identifier on your computer, that's the sigil.
Got it. The drawn, basically, Mandalorian mask.
Yeah, pretty much. That is our known sigil of the way. Which is what, so another person just replied back, we ask just as Lieutenant states to wear armor that displays our sigil, made from materials that armor from history has been made from: leather, metal, not Kevlar. And the best option is to point them to the Armorer's Guild, which I am a part of.
Me too. Oh, kind of.
Okay, I'm sorry. And not, when I said not Kevlar, he corrected and now Kevlar. He typoed and put not instead of now. So, historical methods of armor: leather, metal, and what is now Kevlar. For those wanting to put the sigil on something to consider it armor. And I finally got my Mandor PDF loaded, so let's see if I can get a translation for Spicy Air. Alright, so we've got 5 things for spicy. Let's black ale. Alright, perfect word for this one. Spicy, as in makes the sinuses burn. A sensation like eating horseradish or wasabi. The Mandoa word is Heitik Leish. Again, that is Heitik Leish, which means spicy, as in making your sinuses burn. And let's see what I can find for air. Four words. Rich, nourishing. Nope. Oh, I hope I spelled it right. Oh, crap. 84 words. Okay, air. There we go. Abi. So, I forgot the word already. What did I say for spicy? Anybody?
I missed what it was.
You're asking a dude who's had 8 concussions.
Oh, nice.
My short-term memory is a little temperamental.
Okay, hey, take leash. That's what it was. Hey, take leash. Abik. Spicy air.
And like the funny thing too is like there's not a cool story among a single one of those concussions either. Like all of them's being stupid.
I mean, sometimes those stupid stories can be funny stories.
In hindsight.
Right. May have not been funny at the time, but we'll laugh our asses off now. We'll laugh our shebs off now. So let's see if I can actually find a word for pepper. Okay, we have a word for pepper, which is petit porc. Pork. We have porg as one of our words.
Porg?
Yes. It's actually part of the pronunciation for pepper or spice. Petit porg. But the actual word is spelled Hetipurg, like you would say purge, but it's pronounced porg. See if I can find spray. If I can spell right, that'll be great. We have no word for spray. Okay then. What is What is a synonym for spray?
Synonym for
Disper-
spray?
Dispersing or dispersion. Or spread.
Shower, sprinkling, sprinkle, spritz, jet, mist.
It's pepper. So pepper. Oh jeez. Let's see if I can find another word for pepper. See if there's multiple. Nope, just the one. So we can't use pepper.
Nope.
Let's see, we've got bestrew, scatter, sprinkle, pepper sprinkle. Pepper bestrew, pepper scattered, pepper sow, pepper strewed. Nah, none of those are sounding right. Let's see if there's a word for sprinkle. I'm liking the spicy air being more direct. Nope, no word for sprinkle. Alright, spicy air wins out.
There is a word for mist. Viper.
And that's not saying that the other options don't have these words. It's just the files and dictionaries I have don't.
Yeah, I looked up on Mandola.org because what I found was, but not in the chat area of the Cantina voice, I put the mist.
What else? I was going to go over this last lesson, but then we got distracted. So, due to the latest Discord updates that I'm sure you guys saw the messages about, we have to come up with better words to describe our pew-pews in Discord and make sure that we keep them to the best Gargam Bollywood Discord channel. So here are some new words to be able to use when talking about the
arms that we carry.
Yeah. So we've got Bayveen, which is for lance. If you want to talk about the serious putty, because I'm not going to say that word out loud, is Drakam.
Large, serious fireworks.
Yeah, something that makes a serious firework. Yes, that could also be used. So they actually, I'm going to go back and retranslate this one for my pronunciation because they kind of cut it off, it looks like.
Guys, religious artifacts.
Yes, but terms of service.
Yeah. Okay, there it is.
We respect what the tools can do, but As
Yeah.
of right now, we still have to be within certain guidelines when talking about them.
We are in the process of getting a dedicated server that we oversee, that we only answer to ourselves the way. It's just we haven't been able to publicize it yet, if you know what I mean. All right, so the spicy putty shall be known as Jake Ramor. We've got blasters, which are Threshors, sorry, which is a blaster or a silent pew. We've got the loud pews, which are Shutresh, one of the more traditional. Okay, scatter shot. That would be a good one to describe that one.
Yeah, scattersh pew.
Yeah, the scatter pew is Shutresh, one of the more traditional Mandalorian pews, uh, pewing a burst of metal shards with a wide spread. I hate having to do this, but hey, you know what? It's necessary.
It is temporary.
Yeah. If you want to say the blade of steel is cod, spelled K-A-D, but you pronounce it with an H between the A and D. So it's not cad, it's cod. Uh, if you want to talk about a blade in general, is called. So it's more of a dagger than the actual sword itself.
Yeah, I think that's the one that we were talking about the other day in regards to preferable carry. Like,
Yeah, yeah, sorry.
to follow the way, always have a call on you.
Yeah, call, not call.
Sorry.
Uh,
Still working on my pronunciations. I don't get very much practice, sadly.
that's honestly that's what these lessons are for, is to hear people pronouncing them and either trying to correct the mistakes they made or working on correcting mistakes you're making. So if you want to say a big pew is a con, used to speak of big pews, a sarcastic name for a powerful pew, like a mini pew or something alike to that. If you want to talk about axes, is a Kotkokan. Looks like they missed a little bit there because it's supposed to be an ear at the end. So it's Kotkokanir is an axe. If you want to talk about throwing knives, it's Gukal or a Warhammer, but not like the game Warhammer, but I guess it could be used for that name. Is a Gorkon, spelled Gorkaan, with a beton or apostrophe. Fun fact: if you didn't know what an apostrophe is called, it's called a beton. Beten. And that was the lesson for what was posted yesterday. I do know that Shannon, one of the Joha Sads, is going to be working on doing a twice weekly lesson, if I'm not mistaken. I think that's what they said.
There's also the lesson above that they posted as well in regards to family.
Yeah, that one didn't get posted into the pinned messages. So give me just a second to find there. My dumbass, I'm still in the freaking thing. Just did.
Yeah, it's in the pinned message on the Mandoa server.
Oh, okay. That I'm in the Waze server. So if you want to say your days in Mondola, like first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, and seventh, we actually don't have the words for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday yet. That's probably something we're going to be working on. So if you want to say first day is Soltur, second day Todtur. So third day is Eintur, fourth day Koitur, fifth day Reitur, sixth day Roltur, and seventh day Etatur. And let's go into the Mondola server. I'll get you all the. Okay, so we actually do have the English words for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, but it's in the Mando script. So I'm sorry, I don't read Mando script yet, but we'll work on getting that translated to Mandor or Mondoa. Sorry. Okay, Mondoa lesson. I guess it might help if I go into the lessons and not the general. All right, so getting back into the groove with our Mondola lessons, we'll be talking about the terms of family, and we will be going over 7 terms that represent important roles in the family. And if y'all can't hear me, let me know. My mic's actually towards the other side of my head right now, and how about I just move the.
Yeah, I was gonna say you do sound a bit distant now.
Hopefully, this should sound a little bit better. I've been turning my head. I've got 3 monitors for my PC setup, and the Discord is usually on the one to my left. So now I've got it directly in front of me, so the mic is right next to my, almost next to me.
Mm-hmm.
So here are 7 terms that represent important roles in the family. We've got daughter or son, odd. Which is a noun, is used to address or when speaking of one's youngling or foundling. We've got little one, son or daughter, adika, which is a noun, used to address any youngling of any age. It can also be used informally when referring to adults, much like lads or guys.
Typically, someone of younger age than you.
Yeah, probably. Then we've got adik, which is children aged from about 3 to 13, so before adulthood in the Mando tradition. Term used when talking about those who are still underage, which is adik, basically from 3 to 13.
Is it adik or adek?
I'm going to say adik because it's double E's instead of deck. It doesn't have a C in it.
Well, Mandola doesn't follow that same scripture of like with English, where it's actually very much like each letter of Mandola typically has its own sound.
Yeah, and the spelling of this.
This also goes into the dialect thing.
Yeah, that's why I was like, is it adik or adek?
Judging off of the English written pronunciation, I would go with deep.
Yeah, that's fair.
Let's see. Actually, I might be able to go a little bit better in depth for you. Let's see if I can find the all the way to the top. Okay, so for the letter I, it's pronounced as in rip or sip. So how would we want to do that for double I's? Reap? Yeah, so it still sounds like an E. So yeah, adik would be the pronunciation for someone 3 to 13. So anytime you see an I, it's pronounced as in an E.
A lot of this, the Mandoa language as well, it does have a lot of rules, I want to say as well. And it's very comparable to English in the sense of the rules. I've spoken English my entire life, obviously, and there are certain things that are so second nature that you don't even think about when you're looking at the Mandoa language. Like in Mandoa, if you want to put a negative connotation on something, you put n or the letter n before it. Kind of like in the English language, you'd put ill in front of a word if you wanted it to have a negative connotation, like illegitimate or ill thought, or ill thought, or things of that nature. You know what I mean?
I would agree with that on a partial basis, just because when you say I or me, you're saying Nigar. Like, spelled out it's N-I, but it means I or me. Does that make sense?
It does. I was more thinking about things like Nabushe, which is not a helmet, or I believe it's Nabushe, is not a helmet.
Where are you seeing that?
I got it from the YouTube channel. I forget exactly which channel it is, but basically he's giving lessons on Mandoa.
Is it a fellow VOD?
I don't believe this YouTube channel is affiliated with us at the moment.
Gotcha. Okay. I thought you were talking about the our YouTube channel. Okay. I'll take a look at that and I'll get back with you. Wouldn't mind DM me the channel.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll get that to you as soon as I can.
Where were we? What was I doing?
We were talking about child.
Right. Where it is. That's right. I was out of this.
I guess it would be Deke, seeing as for the next one, family being Alit.
Yeah. Okay, so you're saying the lowercase e's would be pronounced as the i's, and then a upgraded capitalized e's would be the e sounding.
I think that's just more to show emphasis, more so than a change in sound.
Okay.
Like
So that's kind of what
Adek,
I have been
Adek,
thinking.
or Alit.
Yeah. So, like he was saying, if you want to say family, is alit, which is generally used when talking about or describing one's family or clan. It is used to help identify one's clan or one's name. And then we've got older brother slash sister, which is orivod, used when talking to or about a brother or sister who is older than you. Can also be used to describe a special friend. Let your mind wander on that one. Alright, then we've got spouse, which is redur, which is a noun, proper way to address one's husband or wife, one's spouse. We've got father or mother, which is boir, used when addressing or speaking of one's father or mother. I think that pretty much covers the language session for this week. We've been talking language for about an hour. So we wanted to also talk about our armor and what constitutes armor. So Zell, you went back and listened to my first podcast on it. If you want to take up that reign and recover that, or come up with some new stuff I didn't talk about.
I will be honest, I wasn't able to get through all of it per se, just because life got a bit of busy on me. But a lot of what it did cover is like the makeup of one's armor, from what I got from it, as well as touch based on historical what constitute as armor. One question though that I see a lot in our servers though when it comes to armor is does things like steel toe boots, cut resistant sleeves, and things like that count as armor? Sadly, no. However, there are some boots out there nowadays that I would actually say can constitute as a small portion of armor in regards to protection from things like ground, uh, uh, like caltrops and whatnot, because they have a sort of plate underneath them or in the soles of them that prevents things from punching through into the foot that can kind of be seen as a form of protection from like minor traps of sorts.
I would have to, but when it comes to armor, anything that can resist a blade or a freedom seed is what constitutes armor. Something you would wear at work, like cut-resistant sleeves, cut-resistant gloves, steel-toed shoes, aprons, a face shield. Those do not constitute armor.
And I agree.
This very heavily in a Facebook Messenger group for the way.
And
These things do not constitute armor. They are personal protective equipment.
and I concur. The boots that I'm talking about go above your standard steel toe boots in that it provides a more all around protection of the foot.
I would probably agree with that personally, not as a representative of anything. That the steel shank is what you're thinking of. It will give you a bit of a sturdier footing. I don't know about anything that actually covers the entire sole of the foot. I haven't seen those yet.
Let me see if I can look up what I'm talking about real quick.
Yeah. But we're talking about things like when describing armor. Let me be specific on that. We're talking about anything that is leather, metal, Kevlar, that is actually fashioned as armor, not a cloth sleeve or a steel-toed boot. And I wish that conversation was a little bit farther down in the chat log so I could go find it.
Yeah.
But it's months and months, at least 2 or 3 months ago now. This topic had been starting to pop up in the server quite a bit. So we had a conversation in the Facebook group about what constitutes armor, and we all agreed that those things are personal. The things that are considered PPE are not considered armor. They protect you at work, but they won't stop a freedom seed or an attack blade from going in. Does that make sense?
Yes. Like a lot of the times, it's like, do cut resistant gloves count as armor? No.
Not really, because you got to think: will it stop a freedom seed? It will not stop a freedom seed. It might stop a blade from cutting you, but unless you're Superman or that glove is made of Superman's skin, it's not gonna count. I'm sorry.
Truth be, when it comes to cut resistant like gloves and sleeves in that are typically found in the workplace environment, having used them myself, they're mainly meant for minor scrapes and cuts. They're not going to provide the adequate protection of what a blade can do in an actual fight.
Like I managed to get a pair because I worked for the company at the time. Milwaukee has cut level 6 rated gloves. My girlfriend's dog chewed a hole right in between the webbing of my my trigger finger and middle finger on the right hand, or it's between the thumb and the trigger finger on my right hand. So if a dog's teeth is gonna do that, yeah, that's not gonna count.
Well, they are meant for like a slashing, not so much piercing.
I also want to say as well that I know that we're currently talking about the fact that the ability for it to stop something going at a high rate of speed, right? But the main criteria that I have heard that I think makes the most sense is your intent behind donning the protective equipment. If it is required for you in the workplace or day-to-day activities as a requirement, it doesn't really meet our criteria. The armor needs to be something that goes above your day-to-day requirements. It must be a conscious effort, if that makes sense.
That would be correct. Like
Yes.
wearing a pauldron or a leather vambrace, that's not something your workplace is going to require. That's you putting that on to signify you are Mandalorian and you're following the way. The only difference would be like law enforcement or military, which I'm not opening the can of worms on that one. It's just they are required to wear certain things as their daily uniform that would constitute armor because it is armor.
Military personnel are the knights of old.
The Knights of Old.
Of old, standing
Yeah.
armies would have their armor pieces that they're required to have and maintain, and so on
Yeah,
and so forth. That's a military's uniform. The base uniform, like BDUs or NBUs or ACUs, those do not count as armor.
that's clothing.
The plate carriers and those and helmet and those kind of things, those are what's categorized as armor, even though they're still somewhat part of a soldier's day-to-day usage, depending on their environment.
That's all I was trying to get at. It's dated. It's technically would be considered PPE for them. It's still considered armor because that's exactly what it is.
Yeah, for me, I'm still currently working on getting some leather bracers on my arms for my day-to-day armor protection. With may not be able to protect me from a freedom seed, but the design that I have in mind would definitely protect me from blunt and slashing type weapons.
Yeah. I don't know if he's still taking commissions right now. I'll have to ask him. But Byron, I think he goes by Iron Bear in the Discord server.
Mm-hmm.
He is the one I commissioned my vambrace from. I love it. It's nice. And it covers all the way from about my wrist up to the top of my forearm. Probably about a half inch from the elbow.
Yeah, I'm wanting. I've thought about commissioning, but then I'm like, I'm wanting to do this for myself as well, because it's something I enjoy doing of crafting and whatnot. That I want something personal that I can show off the kind of craftsman that I am.
And if you're looking to join the guild, then this is something you're going to want to do too.
Yeah, I'm currently part of it and I informed that I'd still be considered more of an apprentice than an actual full craftsman, as I'm still learning. But thankfully, I am blessed with having a particular leather store here locally in my city.
Nice. My craft is 3D printed.
I'm wanting to get into that as well.
Well, I definitely want to talk about on designing. If you want to get into designing, I'll add you into the 3D print design crew Discord. Not Discord, but Facebook messenger group. But back to the topic of armor. So, in the very early days, I learned this from Grandel, is a apparently they used to layer many layers of cardboard, get it wet and dry, and that would be considered armor at the time.
You'd be surprised at how durable cardboard can get under the right conditions.
I was surprised to learn that actually. Because normally I'm
Paper
just
mache.
Exactly.
paper mache armor was that's probably where we got that from. Is from the old days using paper mache as an armoring method.
Yeah, it's very similar to the process of fiberglass almost. Granted, fiberglass isn't durable enough for armor,
No.
but there are similarities between the two.
Now I will say I don't know if y'all saw this, but I posted in the it was either the Beskar Gum or R&R channel. But are you familiar with the Hacksmith?
Yes, I am familiar with him.
He took up the challenge of making a bulletproof three-piece suit.
The John Wick suit, yeah. As I watched that was a really impressive video.
I liked that. That was an interesting video. I liked that. So I was like, they will love this. They will get a kick out of this. So I posted it to the channel.
I think that was in the Best Cardigan.
Oh, would that be considered armor as well?
That would be because he made it out of Kevlar.
He made it with the sole intention to stop freedom seeds.
Yeah, he made it for the specific purpose of freedom seeds. And it stopped up to a 45 at minimum.
Yeah, he used a Chris Vector.
Yeah.
On the outer suit jacket with the inner suit vest to stop 9mm.
See, I do have something to say on that. It would be considered armor, but it wouldn't be in the terms of the way because it is not shown as armor.
Armor isn't necessarily always needed to be shown.
Yeah. So some armor can be covert. Like, you can be wearing Kevlar and not everybody's going to know that it's Kevlar. It's not always going to be a plate carrier.
Truth be told, armor that cannot be seen from experience being in private security is better than armor that can be seen, because if you show that you are able to defend from a certain situation, like having a plate carrier versus something that goes under, like an undervest, there's a psychological thing of you become now the bigger threat to an adversity than...
And that's a good way of doing it. But at the same time, you want to be at least a little covert when you're out in your everyday life. Because like you said, you're going to have a lot of eyes turning towards you when you're overtly armored. Which at some point, that's going to be us.
Yeah, as of right now, until fully recognized, I'm looking for stuff that doesn't seem, from my personal gear, something that's covert, or people are going to look at it and just be like, oh, cool, I guess he likes cosplay or something like that, and that's why he's wearing leather versus having a plate carrier and whatnot.
Like, I get the question a lot of, because of my leather van brace, what's wrong with your arm? Or they see me take it off to show them, and they're like, oh, there's actually nothing wrong with your arm. I was like, yeah, it's a piece of leather armor.
And I want to say as well that I personally, and I'm not advertising or advocating, this is just my personal everyday carry thing, is I carry Premier... the company Premier makes a shirt that allows inserts to be put in the front and back, and it's designed to be an undershirt that's concealed. So combined that with like a arm brace or whatever I am displaying publicly, combine that with the covert actual armor that I'm wearing, it makes me feel a lot more safe and secure and ready to deal with whatever may present itself.
Exactly. And that's actually really cool. I did not realize that there was a company that did that, and I will be looking into that one.
Yeah,
Personally.
it's a 3A panel, but again, I'm not really gonna scoff at like 3A. I personally, in my plate carrier, carry 3+, but that's overt. If I'm going covert, I'm willing to compromise and carry 3A because clearly I'm not anticipating something beyond like the day to day.
Yeah.
If I mispronounce your name, please correct me. Hayam, is that right?
Yeah, it was originally going to be Ori Jahir, but somebody had told me that Hayam is the name for watchtower because I was looking for that name and somebody was able to provide it for me.
I think that's a topic for next week, maybe, for naming convention, seeing as that's a big topic in the Discord right now.
While not actually required, people can choose.
Of course.
A name. Sorry, my PC decided to go to sleep because I don't have anything actively running on it. Even though I'm in voice chat, it still does not recognize a game or video or something playing.
Mm-hmm.
But Hayam, I was gonna ask you if you wouldn't mind pinning your 3A company that you're talking about in the Beskar Gom chat. That way, if anybody is interested in it, they can go there and find it.
Yeah, let me go ahead and go find it real quick, and I'll go ahead and throw that in there.
Yeah, I'll pin it as soon as
But yeah, I mean, there's advantages to being overt and covert when it comes to armor. As of right now, I say covert is definitely a wiser idea so that we don't cause unnecessary panic to the public that is still not aware of our movement.
Yeah, I just posted it in Beskar Gom.
I realized the time. I was like, wait a minute, that was now. That was fast. All right, let's go ahead and pin this. Oh yeah, pin it.
There's actually a backpack system that I see pop up on my Facebook feed every now and then that's got like pull these two straps up and over your head and ta-da, you have a plate carrier.
I know of the company you're talking about in the particular backpack. I like the idea, but that's really going to be a personal choice, and you have to look at and evaluate. Like, we are talking about like different accessories and things we've seen, and it's important for you to come up with your own solution. Again, not discounting that backpack.
Mm-hmm.
That backpack is a wonderful asset, but you have to look at your everyday activities to figure out what is most conducive for you. You know what I mean?
Yeah. What armor are you able to wear every day that meets your needs and not just specialized?
All right, so I just looked back to the Facebook Messenger group. The on what constitutes armor or not. We do have one of our sermon messages on the YouTube channel covers this.
Yeah, for
.com is where it is, not YouTube. I was under the impression that it was a YouTube channel. Apparently it's not.
That's actually not a bad price for the shirt and the insert.
I will say it does say size down, and they mean it when they say size down, because I normally wear a size medium t-shirt, and I ordered a size medium thinking, oh yeah, no, they're probably China. No, they mean size down. So the shirt that I wear, it's actually, if you're in the know, you can look at me and tell just without knowing that I'm wearing body armor that I got something. But once I get the size down version, I think it'll be much more difficult to detect.
So if I wear a large, I want to get a medium.
Yes, it's intended to be a compression shirt.
Gotcha.
Understood. Yeah, $289 for the bundle of shirt and insert. That's not bad.
I think today was a pretty good podcast, yo.
One thing I'd actually like to, because as I said, I didn't hear the whole thing, but one thing that I did hear is like layering in armor, because a lot of people they just think of like, oh, there's the plate, the external portion of the armor, but don't think about the underside between the armor and yourself. I know that was touched based on, but not too much from what I remember. Because while yes, the armor that I'm looking for may protect from slashing, it's still gonna do some damage to my arm underneath, regardless, just from the kinetic energy.
I mean, that's just in general. Even with the freedom seat, you can block as much as you want of the actual damage, but the kinetic will still carry through.
Yeah, blunt force trauma is still a thing.
Like
Absolutely.
what's it? I think it was 40 millimeters in or less. You're safe, but you're still gonna have some major damage, like broken ribs, broken bones.
Yeah, I believe it's 40 millimeters in, and you won't severe lethal damage. However, you will still get some non-lethal.
Let's see.
At least until we get to the technology of Halo, where we got that crystalline ballistic layer.
Funny enough, you say that there's someone working on an actual Mjolnir armor system.
And also, just kind of to loop back around as well, real quick, just to give y'all my experience with that everyday carry armor. I would highly recommend. I don't have it yet, but whenever they do get it in stock, that same company offers like a cooling pad type thing to help you deal with any type of heat rash or overheating that may occur. Because one thing that's easily overlooked is how much body armor or body armor panels can start to warm you up or cause heat rash.
Oh yes.
Where'd you link all that, by the way?
It's pinned in the Beskarga.
So, just for reference, I use my digital calipers. 40 millimeters is roughly an inch and a half. So, anything greater than an inch and a half pushed into you over the armor is going to do major damage, fatal damage. But anything less than that, you might still be able to walk away from. You're going to be in some major pain, but there's a chance you're walking away from. This is just those fun facts for you.
Oh no, that's definitely a good to put it into a freedom measurement perspective.
Yes. I was thinking about that. I was like, I don't know if people are going to know how far 40 millimeter is, but they'll know how far an inch and a half is.
Yeah, about a little bit over your standard fingertip.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also, I don't know how close we are getting to the end of this podcast, but I do want to go ahead and put out there that for anybody who may be listening that isn't a part of our community already, if you're just kind of shy about joining the community, I'd still encourage you to join the Facebook group. You don't have to join the Discord, or you don't have to devote 100% to it, but you can still kind of hang around. We're very accepting, and like Tenant Number 7 says, we're only going to judge you based off your actions rather than any preconceived notions or thoughts that you have. You know what I mean?
That is correct.
We don't care about your ethnicity, where you come from, ideology, religious backgrounds, anything like that. Your actions is all we care about and will look at when we see how we are going to interact with you.
On top of that, I will add we do have a link tree, which I'll get posted into this podcast at the end when we publish it. We've got social media on everything. Instagram, all the way from TikTok to Instagram to Facebook or Discord. Also, this podcast is linked on there. We've got all of the major stuff. We've got all social medias.
Yeah, and the main reason I want to bring that up as well is because the interview team, or the Kabur, correct me if that's the incorrect enunciation or pronunciation of that. We're currently about to get about 2 or 3 more Kaburs to assist us in bringing in more Mandoa or Mandoad to join the community. There is an interview that is required prior to it, but it's about a 10-15 minute interview. There's no trick questions to it. And to be quite honest with you, it's more making sure that somebody is not trying to become a part of the community with ill intent or with the wrong notion of what we stand for or what we believe.
That's to protect the Discord server. You can join the Facebook group, and we've had some rabble rousers recently, which have been or are being taken care of. But Discord's terms of service and guidelines are very strict compared to what we would want to talk about. Hence the need for the language lesson about the pews and the freedom swings. Because we now have to keep that, at least the discussion of it, to a certain channel now, which kind of sucks, but we got to do what the Discord overlords want.
We are borrowing their platform till a platform of our own it comes about.
Which y'all will hear about it as soon as we do have that. Where am I going with that? I have no idea where I was going with that besides that. Besides talking about the interview. That's mainly just to protect us on the Discord server. There's no interview for the Facebook or anything like that. We do have an Armorers Guild where we are actively recruiting and actively selling our wares to promote the way. So we look forward to having everybody that wants to buy something or even start making something, please hit us up on that. We've got quite a few 3D design and printing. I think we really need to look for some more leather or metal workers.
Mm-hmm.
I could be wrong. We could have plenty of those too. It's just I don't see those chats. Besides the one outside of the Heart of Iron group, which everybody is a part of. That's in the guild. But yeah, we'll definitely have the link tree posted. So if you want to find us, we will actively be trying to recruit y'all. That's the only way we're gonna grow is to get more people and actively recruit.
Mm-hmm. Are there any questions that people have posted that haven't been answered on the Discord that we could possibly answer in here?
Not regarding what we talked about today. We'll have to do a little bit better of a job of
Organization. Still,
a little bit.
Still working on the formula of how we're doing these things. Do we want to figure out what topic we'll be doing next week, or so that people can look forward to it, or shall we do that off?
We'll probably figure that out later. If anybody has suggestions, we're more than happy to hear them. Because honestly, that's where we're going to get them, is by asking everybody who listens to this or is in the social medias what they want to hear. We will be recovering some old topics that I did back in what I'm now going to call Season 1. Because I took about a good 2 or 3 month break from doing this so I can keep my life straight. We will definitely be doing more language now that we have the Joha Sad, the language group. Because that was, I'm not saying I didn't like doing it, it just took a lot of effort to get the topic and the language lesson, and I really didn't have much time to dedicate to it.
Mm-hmm.
So again,
Thankfully, we have Blood Shannon now, putting those together.
that is correct. Luckily, we've got we're starting to get our footing a little bit better placed. Because I do regret that I had to take that break. It's just something came up, and I lost my job. And now I got a new job, and I'm I'm looking at changing from that to something else. But hey, you know what? We gotta take it as I got.
All too familiar with that one right now.
Yeah.
But
And an idea I have, and this might be something that has already been talked about, I don't know, is possibly trying to find some of the more, I don't want to say difficult questions, but questions that would be more directed towards the Allori, and getting some of the Allori to go ahead and come onto a podcast, and you guys just basically compile a list of questions for them to have them answer. You know what I mean? So that way people can hear it directly from. I don't want to say. Yeah, I'll call them the leadership of the way in the moment.
that's kind of what their position is as a
We're
lawyer.
currently working on a clan system and all that, so that being able to hear from them. Yeah.
Yeah, that's. I don't. Even I'm not sure. I'm in the PR chit chat group, and just based off the position of the podcast, I'm in that group, and even I don't get to hear all the conversations. So
I mean, it's not a bad idea, because one thing that I was wanting to do is like at the end of like language subject is if there's any questions, whether it's pertaining to the subject matter of the podcast or not, just answer some off-topic questions that someone may have.
Or even having just like a pre-recorded thing, so that way if an Allori is not available for a live podcast, to be able to have like a recorded call, you know what I mean,
Yeah.
over Discord or something like that. So that way, at the very least, the most recent questions can be addressed, if not live, retroactively.
yeah, just add it on to the podcast at the end.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, I do have one. I asked one of the Alorad is if there will be a title for Mandalore, and if so, what would that mean? And I don't know if you guys want to discuss that further, but I did get an answer from him.
I would imagine the title would be Mandalore.
As he currently said, we are going to try to avoid having a Mandalore and just more stick with a council type thing.
Yeah, from what I understood, because I've seen that question pop up a while back and it was more of a we don't want like a sole leader. And a council is what the Aloria are trying to strive for more so than just a single head.
My thought is that Mandalore would be more of the religious leader, like a priest or something like that.
I would go as far to say that I think if we did have a Mandalore, it would be something along the lines of like the UK royalty, where the king, queen, whatever, is more of a figurehead rather than an executive decision-making thing. It really falls down to Parliament, and the king or queen does have say in it, if I'm understanding the UK government correctly. But ultimately, Parliament is the
Hey, I'm gonna dip out. Something's happening over here. I've got to take care of about that, so I'll talk to you later.
All right, bud. Take care. As far as that goes, I think the main thing they're wanting, from what I've understood of conversations that I'm able to see just in Discord server chats, is they're wanting to avoid basically being too close to the mouse and all that.
That makes a lot of sense. It would, I think, eliminate a lot of infighting if there was a council or a group of decision makers. And I just want to emphasize again as well that the Allori are currently working on a system for clan formation. So if you guys are really wanting to form a clan and all that, something is in the works. Just know that the current system that's in the works may end up causing certain clans that have already been formed to have to either disband or make major changes to the way that they operate or the way that they're structured.
Yes, because one thing that we're having to do as Keepers of the Way is avoid any problems with copyright situations. Because the mouse has a lot of money and strong people, legally speaking, that could really put a damper on us.
Yeah, I've heard the mouse. Whenever the mouse calls, normally it's a bad day. So let's all try and avoid having to deal with the individual with the big black ears. And yeah.
All right, I think that's where we're gonna sign out. Thank you, VODs, for and potential future VODs for listening in. Forget how these normally would be exited. Check us out on Facebook, TikTok, Telegram. Do we have a Twitter? I forgot to ask about that one, if we have a Twitter page at all.
I believe we do, but if it is going to be present, it'll be in the link tree. So just click on that, and you should see everywhere we are. I know there's an Instagram.
Yeah, I know Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Just check out the link tree. Everything that we have is posted there. Take care, be safe, and this is the way.